Hello everyone, this is Kathleen and I am here to show you the flip through of this pretty Yellow Roses journal. This is the one we made with the repaired spine or the reconstructed spine with the piping and these pretty yellow roses, this little vintage scrap. And I've done, as I often do, the button elastic closure, and I have found these really beautiful glass beads that match the roses card. So yeah, so here's the cover. This is that piping that we did together, and I have put matte medium on the top to seal this, and I have not done that on the back. So the back is still just the original. It's this pretty book fabric cover. Yeah. Okay, so let's go inside and see how I have decorated it in the end. So here's the opening. I have just grunged this paper with some hand dyeing and made kind of a Z fold there. This is just a pretty tag here on the front. This is a flip, a pocket flip. So just some Arizona highways. Yeah. And a little coupon for singer lessons on the sewing machine. So the journal is 8.5 by 6, and it has a 1.5-inch spine. It has 132 pages. It has one of my historic 2020 calendars. This is a pretty, just a double, kind of double tuck, just with some, this is some hand-dyed journal paper. So there's a tuck here behind, and there's a tuck there as well. A little peekaboo. So I mentioned it has 132 pages. It has 23 pockets and tucks throughout the journal. This is a pretty Deerfield Valley along the Mohawk Trail in Massachusetts. It's very vintage. I'm not sure how old, but it's unused, so you could actually send that. There's a little vintage Rolodex card and a receipt. I have 36 pieces of ephemera. It's pretty chunky. 26 pieces of vintage ephemera, and then 10 handmade pieces. So here is a Rolodex from a law office, I think. And I have this kind of charming little butterfly clip, and that's just this over-the-top paper for journaling. Can add a lot more things under there. Some lace, vintage lace on many of the edges. Some vintage receipt, and I've just done some embossing on that journal card. I have, you can maybe see, so this is a study in contrast. So this side is clean, and this side is grunged. So I have kind of bent and torn and, yeah, stained this. I just wanted it to look old and kind of shabby. I love this paper. Oh gosh, that's so pretty. Some vintage ledger sheet. Here is a napkin, kind of a collaged pocket, using some tissue and some stamping. And I have this pretty postcard, Sir Joshua Reynolds. And this just some scrapbook paper as a tag for journaling. Some stamping. These pages are all hand dyed. Here's one of these cluster belly bands. It's a recipe for some kind of a coffee drink, and a vintage note paper. Just have this behind the belly band. Some more vintage lace. Here's the second signature. A little bit of vintage ephemera there. And on this side, we have a little bit of a collage up here. And this is, not sure, just a vintage index card, I think from a recipe box. Another vintage receipt. And then this is just a little journaling paper in the shape of an envelope. Just hooks onto there with that little clip. More hand-dyed paper, avocado dyed. A little patchwork card here, and a prescription. Journal on the back, another little note card. Aren't those flowers pretty? Yeah. This is a fabric ruffle here on this center, and vintage, some recipes, peas with pork, peas with lettuce, stuffed potatoes, potatoes au gratin. Yeah, just a fun recipe book. And this is just an envelope. So that goes over that. And just this clip. I don't want to tear that. I have to be a little careful. All right, on this side. And then this is one of my railroad ephemera. This is not tissue, it's regular paper, 1905. But it is blank on the back, and you can journal. And this is a large, and is meant to just kind of hang over the top, or if you want, you could fold it. But I wanted to leave it unfolded. So another little book page pocket with some vintage ephemera for journaling. Done a little cluster embellishment there. Here's the little torn edge, scrappy edge that we did together. This is just a tuck spot here, and matches kind of this paper on this side. I really love this paper. Hand dyeing there. Dictionary. This is Aunt Minnie's squash. And just a little cluster there. And I have deliberately crumpled this paper. This is, my friend Elizabeth sent me paper a long time ago. I've been hoarding it actually, but it's Kool-Aid, dyed Kool-Aid paper. And I love the way that looks. Some shorts. This is some vintage Battenberg lace. An altered guest check. And this is also a pocket on the side. Union Pacific system. Another just simple patch pocket here, and a couple of journal papers. Cluster tuck. This is a vintage note paper. And a cluster tuck. Here I have a recipe. Rancho beef dinner. A little bit of room for journaling here. And this is just the pattern for a rib stitch hat. That other Kool-Aid dyed paper. Another journaling paper, and just a tag tuck here with some seam binding for the bow. A little bit of trim, a little side pocket. This is from a book, Before Women Had Wings, but plenty of room to journal on that. And there's the final page and the back cover. So that's that pretty journal. I think it's turned out really nice. I love the look of the lace on the edges, and really like the way these bead dangle turned out this time. Hey, thanks for being with me, and I'm going to list this journal on my Etsy, so it'll be there. If it's not up, that means I just don't have the listing done. So I will take the photos and try to get it listed as quick as possible. Thanks so much. We'll see you again.